let's continue where I left off. We saw these guys going into the dinner party and saw everyone get settled. Then we saw Shanita make a speech. And she was talking about the roller coaster that people have been on. And to those that are single, here's to single life. Yep, that's what she said. Then we also saw a conversation that took place between Zoe and Jenna. And they were talking about life, and Zoe mentioned about Jenna ticking most of her boxes. And her boxes being she's intelligent, thoughtful, and also ambitious. That's a good start, I suppose. It is a good start. Not too sure what the rest of the boxes were, but they had a good conversation going there, and they look very loved up. So I do wish them well, but I still have my doubts. We then saw a small conversation take place between Lara, Sophie and Jonathan, and she was asking how they were. Then it was really Jonathan that spoke to say, we tried, it just didn't work out for us. And of course, Sophie agreed. And then Lara turned around and said, yes, that's a good thing. If you couldn't offer her marriage, don't string her along. And that's the best thing that you could have done. And that's virtually the end of that conversation. So moving on. We then saw a bit of flirty conversation between Whitney and Matt. More Matt, I'd say. And Whitney sort of laughing along with it. Yeah, it was a bit awkward. Not too sure how to view that. Yeah. A little bit strained, I'd say. But nevertheless amicable. Then we saw a conversation take place between Shanita and Jordan.
Which I love the most, and not even like big things, it's like little things like that. It's like us going for a gym, us like laughing in bed, like they're for me like huge memories.
That's why it's sad, because we left the experiment and it's almost like you didn't appreciate all the moments, and actually I felt like you just didn't appreciate me.
So as we saw them reminiscing about their time together when they were together, but they no longer are. Dear. But then, things went slightly left.
With me, I came out, right, and I was, in my mind, I was trying to work things out.
You was bullshitting me and not being honest. When I said to you, like, your efforts changed, this, that, and the other, you're like, no, it hasn't. But it had, and you've just said, you didn't know where you was at. You have to say, I don't know where my head's at. That's all you have to say. Instead of leading me down a path and then going, bam, no.
And I'm sorry to say, but Shanita had a valid point. And I'm going to say that across the board with a lot of people when it comes to saying what's on their mind or what's troubling them in regard to a relationship. Rather than stringing the person along, say your piece. If you think this isn't going to work, say it's not going to work. Don't string them along. Play with their emotions. Play with their sexual energy. Stop with that nonsense. Stop it.
To be honest, Jordan, I think maturity-wise, you are not ready for this intense of a relationship.
I know that, but if my heart isn't in it...
Don't you say that. Yeah, if your heart is not in it, but don't take me to final vows. You shouldn't have took me to final vows. That's the issue. Do you understand the issue?
Again, Miss Shanita, she's speaking my language. A young lady like herself is speaking my language. Because a lot of these women need to wake up in this day and age. Too many men playing games. Too many. If you're not ready for a serious relationship, let the lady know. If you're here to play games, again, let the lady know. And again, ladies, if it doesn't smell right, if something sounds fishy, if your instincts are telling you something's not right, let him down gently and get your ass out of there.
But I'm glad that you agreed that you didn't deal with it correctly. So
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
No, yeah. I think I could have handled it better. I do.
Definitely.
I could have handled it better. I do.
Yeah.
But I'm with you on that. Honestly, come here. I'm sorry for upsetting you. Genuinely.
The last thing I'm going to say here is that I like that these two can still come to an understanding and be able to be amicable with each other as well as hug it out. Yeah. I like this. I like this. Fast forward to the honesty box. Yes, the honesty box once again. We started off with Thomas and Adrian. Yeah, Thomas and Adrian. Adrian asked Thomas, what do you think our biggest strength is and our biggest weakness is? And Thomas's reply was that he finds Adrian trustworthy. They both have each other's back. He can rely on him. They both support each other. And then when it comes to the weaknesses, his answer was they take ages to get ready. Yeah. And I'm not surprised by that at all. Moving on, we then had April and George. And their question was, from George to April, what do I need to do to make this marriage last? And her answer was to continue to support her, for him to be himself. And she says she will never hurt or break his heart. Yeah. The usual. The usual. I still don't believe in this relationship. I don't know what it is. Something doesn't sit right with me. But that was the answer. The next question was from April to George. And the question was, what is your biggest fear for the future of our marriage? So, similar question. And first of all, he turned around and said he's totally in love with April. Yeah, the whole table heard it. Yeah, we know how George is very emotional. Yeah, we saw all that emotion. And then behind that, he said, his answer was, if you break it. If you break his heart. And her answer behind that was, I need you to believe that I won't. I'm not your past, I'm your future. Yeah. I don't know what more to say here. I don't know what more to say. It sounds very romantic. I don't like to be pessimistic. I'm just not that type of person. But at the same time, there's just something. I don't know whether it's a distance thing, the 4 kids, him not having to really change his life in any way for her. It's going to be more about her leaving her life behind to be with him. And I don't know. I don't trust her in that respect, that she's going to do that anytime soon. So that's how I feel about it. Yeah, that's how I feel. After hearing April and George pour their heart out to each other, we then saw Thomas say something to the two of them.
I think he's great. I wish us all the happiness in the world. I really do. And we all come on it for the same thing, and you've got it, and that's great. If I ever said anything that was personal to you, or offensive, or nasty, or horrible, I am sincerely sorry. You are a beautiful woman. I do mean that from the bottom of my heart.
I appreciate that. I feel like I need to tell her thank you.
I can't believe I actually heard that. He actually apologised. Has he had a personality transplant or something? Because this Thomas here, I don't recognise. So, not sure what that's about, but yeah, take it. Just take it, April. Take the apology. Ooh, something's not right here. Is Thomas okay? Is Thomas okay? But anyway, moving on. The next question was for Matt and Whitney. And it was Matt asking Whitney, do you see any hope for us in the future? And her answer to that was that there's a lot of healing to be done with the both of them. They've also got a lot going on in their lives, especially Matt at this time, dealing with his mother's situation. And also on top of that, it was Kwame that asked the question, exactly what went on? And then Whitney answered that question by saying, I'm the type of person that when I saw issues, I kept running from them. It happened too many times that Matt had to just call time on it. That's virtually what she said. He checked out. But she says she doesn't regret anything that they went through. And then when Matt was talking to the camera, he turned around and said they sort of hit a brick wall, that he didn't want it to get to a point where they hurt each other. But they still have love for each other, as we can see. And not forgetting, Whitney did say that maybe, possibly, after all of this, things could change. Yeah. And Matt agreed. So, yeah, that was it really. Oh, we did see Whitney get a little emotional, and so did Matt, actually. Yeah. So that situation there is not over. No, it's not over. I'm sure we're going to hear more about them in the future. So moving on, the next question was for Jenna and Zoe, and it was a question from Zoe to Jenna. What do you love the most about me? And Jenna's answer to that was, it's more about the little things. That's what she said. And Zoe was like, the little things? And then Jenna explained it more, such as kissing me before you set off for work in the morning. Yeah. Little things like that. And plus, when she had COVID, sitting with her in the corridor and bringing her vegan food. Yeah, those little things. And that was her answer. The next question was for Keisha and Kwame. And it was Kwame asking Keisha, how genuine do you think I was during the experiment? Well, to be honest, Keisha doesn't need to answer that question. I'll answer it for you. Non-genuine. Non-genuine. You're a player, a playboy. I don't know what other words you want to use. Gigolo. Yeah, you just weren't genuine. You were in it just for the fame. It's as simple as that. But anyway, let's see what Keisha's answer was.
So do you think I was genuine or not?
So I'm saying, I don't think you're really a genuine person.
Well, I've said what I needed to say, and so did she.
Do you remember the last things you said to me on the morning of the last commitment ceremony? Do you remember?
No.
You said, you've made an enemy out of me.
Okay.
So I'm thinking, cool. Go on, boss man.
But why did I say that to you?
Have no idea.
Did you say you were single and looking for a man? Simple question. Did you...
Kwame. No, wait a minute. Kwame.
Did you make it
Kwame.
clear? Did you make it clear?
Kwame. It's my turn to speak.
Well, as you can see, that conversation went left. It continued with Keisha correcting him by saying that she didn't say she was looking for a man, but she did say she was single. He said on top of that, with her saying that and not telling him first is a disrespect. But she said we weren't in communication. We weren't in communication. We weren't in communication. Yeah, they just kept back and forth with this. So they couldn't agree on that. But his last words were,
my main gripe with you is that I felt when you went to the girls' party and you said whatever, that was a disrespect. And the moment that you begin to disrespect me, I'm then going to lose respect for you.
Not too sure who was right in this situation here. Because she broadcast the news about being single before telling him. Yeah. But at the same time, they weren't talking to each other either. So, yeah, that's an awkward one. But at the same time, what happened next was very much, they couldn't agree. They were just going around in circles. She just said, you know what? I'm going to wish you all the best. And like I said before, we don't have to see each other again. I'm just going to wish you the best. And that's the end of that one. And then the question was asked of Keisha to Kwame. Keisha asked Kwame any question you'd like. And she turned around and said, I've got nothing to say. And that was the end of that. As we saw, the rest of the table didn't hear a peep out of them. They didn't say a word. No one was coming in the middle of that. We know it. You know it. I know it. So moving on. The next question was for Shanita and Jordan. And it was from Jordan to Shanita. How would you describe your feelings for me now? And to be honest, she says, I don't know. She said, I don't know. She doesn't know how to answer that question. She didn't know how to answer the question. And with her not being able to answer the question, Jordan jumped in to say that I want to apologise. I'm really sorry for how I've made you feel. And da. Yeah. So, yeah. He apologised profusely. She got tearful. Yeah. And that was really the end of that. But somehow I still do see hope with these two. I don't know what it is. Even though they may not be seen eye to eye at the moment, there's something there. There's just something there. It may be wrong time, wrong place. That's what we're dealing with here. Yeah. Jordan's not ready at the moment, while Shanita is. So I don't know. I don't know. Further down the line, things could work. But right now, Shanita needs to think about herself and what works for her. If she's still single, when Jordan decides to commit, then maybe there's hope here. Maybe there would be hope here. I can see this being a wonderful relationship if Jordan gets his shit together. So moving on, last but not least, we had Sophie and Jonathan. And the question was from Jonathan to Sophie, of the two of us, who do you think made the most effort? Yeah, that was the question. To be honest, I was trying to decipher the answer because this conversation for me just went round in circles. And really what Sophie said was she made more effort in regards to the two of them. And in regards to him with her, it was him, her and everybody else. That's really what she said. That's exactly how she said it. But I just shortened it for you. And she then went on to say this.
I don't feel like I was really valued. I feel like I was a backseat and a lot of it was what else was going on around him. And I tried to support him as much as I possibly could, but still, it was never good enough.
And the reason why it was never good enough is because he wasn't into you. He wasn't sexually attracted. The lust wasn't there for him. Yeah, it just wasn't there. And from the time he didn't get that, he just shut down. It was just a waste of time. It didn't matter how much you hammered on that door. It just wasn't going to happen. So him taking you to final vows, I just didn't understand that. This guy was playing games, just like a few of the other grooms in this group here. And where Sophie's concerned, I'm sorry, but she needs to look at herself properly because she's a beautiful girl, lovely personality, but she doesn't value herself enough. And that's a sad thing. You could do much better than Jonathan. You could do much better. She doesn't know her worth. Past relationships haven't gone accordingly. And I think it's because of the same reason. Because she picks them. And it becomes very much about pleasing them rather than pleasing yourself. Know your value. Know your worth. Anyway, that was the end of all the questioning. The end of the honesty box. So this is where I'm going to leave it. If you like what you heard, please like, comment and subscribe. Till next time.